this gorgeous mantle, and I tell you, when it comes to impact, there are few things that can give you that wow, like a gorgeous mantle. Maybe you don't need art. Maybe you just need a gorgeous mantle. Take a look at this vintage piece, and you know, you've got this wall, and then look at what is taking up the space here.
Yeah, with the older one, it was just to really bring an update to a space that was more modern, but to bring that vintage fireplace mantle. There's no fireplace, there's no fire, but you can really decorate around that, right?
Absolutely,
It's such a good focal point.
It always brings the focal point. That's right, especially around the holidays too. It does feature very highly.
It is, because this is the place you're going to hang the stockings. This is where you're going to put the garland, and you know, any of those special, precious holiday decorations that you have. What's great about it is it doesn't have to be functional. It can just be decorative, like this one here.
And this one was pretty ugly when I first picked it up. It was $80 at the salvage shop, and again, you would have walked right by it. Yeah. But look, it's got nice depth. It's perfect for decorating, and by painting it, kind of gave it a whole new life.
Instantly, that's right.
I love the color you chose. I love the paint, and I also love this. So this is the tiling that you did, Danielle.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's funny because a lot of people will tackle a DIY project if it involves paint or light carpentry, but tiling is kind of one of those things where you're like, ooh, I don't know. Yeah. But it's actually not that much more involved than a craft project, especially with a contained space.
Says the pro.
Yes.
No, but you're going to show us, and I'm going to help you.
How easy it is.
Yeah, she whispered in my ears, like, are you going to use this saw? And I was like, no. You're going to use it.
You're going to use it.
Okay, let's show how to paint that mantle, though.
Yeah,
let's paint.
Part.
That part I like.
So here is a little pretend mantle, and this was just to kind of mock up what we had. So the one that I had was a golden oak finish. It had a bit of a sheen on it already. So what you need to do in that case is give it a good sanding. So I usually use an 80 or a 60 if you want to really rough it up. Yes. And maybe up to 100 when you want to get it smooth. So I used the 80 on that and then prime it. Now because I used black ink, that's the color, I wanted my primer not to be white because it's just a little bit easier to paint over a gray with black than it is to paint over it with over a white. Okay. So my primer's been tinted, just as gray as I could get it.
How many tinted primers are there? Like there's light, there's dark?
Yeah, with something like Sticks, which is a primer that's especially for hard to stick to surfaces, like the pre-finished wood that I had before. It doesn't even come in a base, so you really can only tint it to some, this would be about as dark as you can go. Got it. But when you're doing a deep red, you'll need a deep color foundation, and that's when you really need that bright pink, something sort of like your blouse might be the primer for a deep red. Okay. So in this case, it's just to cut the white, and again, really easy peasy. You could roll it on, but I'm just priming the entire surface.
After you've done all of your sanding.
After you've done all of your sanding, exactly. And then my favorite paint for furniture is Advanced Paint. This is black ink, and I just wanted to show you because I actually use this roller. Yeah. And I just wanted to show you because I always forget to give this tip, you know, instead of cleaning out your rollers right away, if you know you're going to be putting a second coat, just wrap it in saran wrap. And honestly, this has lasted 3 days. In fact, I forgot to pour my paint out, so let's see if it still works. See?
That was excellent. I've actually never seen that. Just wrap it in the saran wrap. So it stays, it still keeps the moisture.
Moist. I didn't even put it in the fridge. Some people will put it in the fridge, but my fridge would be full of these things if I did that. My family wouldn't like it.
Is that where they put it?
Yeah, and apparently it keeps it longer, but as long as you just keep it wrapped up really tightly, that'll be good. So 2 coats of Advanced. I used pearl. If you wanted a more modern look, you could use a high gloss black. Oh, but I wanted to work with Danielle's beautiful tile, so I kept the pearl finish.
Okay, let's do the tiling. Show me what this takes.
Okay, so when I first started, I went to great lengths. When I first decided I was going to try tiling in my own home, I went to great lengths to make sure I didn't have to actually cut tile, because that's kind of intimidating.
Yes, I agree.
A great product for beginners is a mosaic tile. Right. Because you can essentially just take a knife and trim off the back to whatever size you need.
So you're getting a nice sheet, and you can work with the sheet however you need it, which is really going to help. Although some people would look at a mosaic tile and say, this is going to be so much more complicated. Look at how small they are.
It's not true. That's right. They come on these sheets, and because this is such a small, you know, a small area,
Right.
you know, when you get to the end, you can decide if you're going to shift the whole thing to accommodate your space, so you don't actually have to cut the tiles. But
Okay.
I'm going to show you how easy it is to cut the tile if you ever do get brave enough to do it.
Because the other thing you have to worry about with this is the grout.
Well, but
That's
that's
what-
so easy. It's like
so easy?
spreading icing. It really
Okay,
is.
I love your attitude. Very
So,
good.
This is all it takes is you need to make sure that your substrate is nice and clean.
Yes.
And because this is a fireplace, we made sure that this was non-combustible. So we've used cement
Good.
board. But all you have to do is spread your, I'm going to call it adhesive, but this actually is not adhesive. This is called a thin set. And with marble, you have to make sure you're using the right kind of adhesive. And this is what you need, thin set.
You need thin set
Yeah,
for marble.
For a ceramic tile, you can
Yes.
absolutely use the glue, but
Yeah.
it can stain your white marble.
Is that going to be
So-
obvious which one you need to use?
Yeah, so basically marble or natural stone needs thin set.
Right.
And ceramic can use the tile glue or adhesive.
Okay.
So, but there's so much information online. You can just look up
Good.
what you're doing and what you need.
Okay.
And then so all you're going to do is you're going to spread it, and this is where a million different tilers are going to have a million different sort of techniques. I like to do it a little bit slowly, but you know, a professional
Yeah.
tiler would be swift, but you know, we're keeping it real, right?
Yeah, keep it real. Do it the way you do it.
Okay.
And is it okay if you go sort of nice and slow? Will it dry on you?
No, you know what?
You're
it's,
okay?
It's absolutely fine. You should work in a manageable sort of chunk anyway.
Okay.
And just to let you know, what I've done here is I've installed this temporary little support.
Yes.
Just because the marble is heavy, so
Right.
it can start to slide. So I've got this. We will do this part, we would let it dry, and
Yes.
then the next day do the rest. So
So you show me how you do it, and then I'll show you how I do it, like
you're-
I've ever done this.
This is what you're, so I slop it on, and the idea with a notched trowel is that you're gonna get an even spacing, and you're gonna get your lines.
Okay.
It's gonna wipe off all the excess.
Yep.
So literally, and you wanna keep it like at a 45-degree angle,
Okay.
and you just go like this.
And you want it to keep going like that.
You wanna
Okay,
try
let me
it?
show you how I do
Let's
it.
see.
So when I tile at my house,
Yes.
this is how I put it on.
Nice.
Right?
This
Oh
is
dear.
what I'm talking about. See,
And
there's no right way.
There's no right way.
There's no right way.
And then I take my, what's this called?
This is a trowel.
I take my
This
trowel
is a notched trowel.
and I go like that.
45-degree angle.
45-degree angle is how I do it.
There, because you want to get those lines. Beautiful.
Right? Anybody can do it, folks.
You know, let's just,
So good.
so imagining, one second, let's just make it go
Put a little bit
all the
more.
way up. So you're just gonna fill the whole thing.
Okay.
And Tracy, you're gonna
I'm gonna
notch
trowel
that
it
for me.
up.
Yep.
Okay. So we can maybe actually put down one of these tiles.
We can. We're gonna put it on, and you're gonna
Okay.
see. Okay. Then
Go for it.
you're just gonna put your sheet on. Now I've measured these out, of course. I like to measure the whole thing out in advance.
Smart.
And then that way I can adjust if I
Look
have
at how
to.
good that looks. Okay, so how much time do we have for this segment? Are we actually going to get to grout this?
No, we're not going to grout it today because you would let this go. You would let this dry for 24 hours.
Oh, I see,
But you
okay.
can actually make it nice and flat.
It's television tiling is what it is.
There you go. It's just to show you how easy it is.
Yeah.
And you can flatten it. This is actually a grout float.
Oh,
Say
nice.
10 times fast.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah, so you want to make it nice and flat, and then you can use spacers to keep it all
It looks good.
uniform. I mean, it's so easy. It'll dry, then tomorrow you would put your grout in,
Yeah.
and it's done.
And it's done. And then you've
So-
done your own project and you've used tiles and you look very professional.
Absolutely.
Right?
Are you sure you don't want to use the wet sock?
Oh, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Did you want to use it for something? You want to give us an example?
You know what? I just wanted to demystify this process because I think for a lot of us, the idea of power tools is so scary, but
Yeah.
it's actually really quite easy.
Okay, well, give us a little
If
demo.
we have time, okay, it's loud,
Yes.
and let me pick the marble. Okay, so this is a nice thick marble. I'm just going to turn this on. Oh, I need my glasses.
Yes.
Need your safety
Glasses, please.
And the first time I tried this, I was like, what was I waiting for? All those years, I thought it was so scary.
Does
It's
it make
not.
life way easier for
It
you?
does,
Watch your
yeah.
fingers. You're good?
Here we go. We might take a little shower here, though.
Oh.
And then let's say,
Good
I mean,
stuff.
you're just gonna get really brave and you'll realize nobody's gonna be reckless.
Yeah.
Right?
pretty awesome.
There you go.
That gets the job done easily.
does.
You've used the safety precautions.
There you go.
You've cut what you needed to cut.
And I got wet doing it.
And you got a shower, a little facial.
A little facial,
Really
a
good.
little
It's our
mist.
Reno girls today. They're teaching us everything you need to know to get ready for the holidays. Stay with us.